Hi, Linda here, and thank you for joining my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Continuing on my series of handmade bags, today we're going to be making this knitted zipper pouch bag. I'm going to show you how I knitted this twisted stitch. It's a zipper bag, and because of the thick wool, you actually don't need a lining. It takes your necessaries quite nicely. I use these size 9 knitting needles, which are very large, thick needles, and I do find it quite cumbersome, but I think the advice I can give you is if you use a very loose tension, it's much easier to knit. And because the bag is so small, it really knits quickly. This lovely variegated wool, it's a lovely thick wool, and I found these straps from another bag which go quite nicely with it, so you can just hook them on the sides. Let's begin making our knitted zipper pouch bag. Start by casting on 20 stitches. Then complete 1 row purl, at the end of the purl row, turn and start the next row. And now we're going to start with the twist stitch on the next row. Slip the first stitch. Place your needle below the thread between the next 2 stitches. Knit 1 and then gently pull up the knit stitch and slip the next stitch with your thread in a purl position. Knit the thread below the next 2 stitches, knit 1 and gently pull up the knit stitch and then slip the next stitch with your thread in a purl position. This is where I suggest having loose tension. Complete this row in the same pattern. The last stitch in this row is a knit stitch, or as some refer to it as a plain stitch. This was the first row of the twist stitch. We're now going to complete the second row of the pattern, which is the purl stitch. The first stitch is a purl stitch, followed by purling 2 purl stitches together for the entire row. You can see that my tension could be looser, but it's always a bit tighter in the first few rows of the project. The last stitch of this purl row is a knit stitch. Continue in these 2 knit and purl pattern rows for 20 rows. Here is a refresher on the knit twisted stitch row. After 20 rows, finishing with a purl row and the twist stitch facing you, we can begin the moss stitch for 5 rows. The moss stitch consists of 1 knit, 1 purl, and then alternates on the next row. This will give the bag a distinctive base. Here are the 5 rows which make up the moss stitch. Continue in the pattern starting with the twist stitch facing you. Once you have 20 twist stitch rows on each side of the moss stitches, begin your row of casting off. Once I had completed knitting the bag, I had to stretch it into position for about 3 days. I'm going to sew the 7-inch zipper into the bag and use these clip-on straps. Remove the pins from the stretch board and begin sewing the bag together. And now we're going to sew the zipper into the bag. Place the right side of the zipper against the inside of the bag. Make sure to have it in the correct position. Keep looking at how the zipper opens and closes to make sure it is correctly placed. I use back stitching to secure the zipper and make sure to sew right through the zipper cotton and the bag yarn. Then I sew in the opposite direction the length of the zipper. When you get to the closed end of the zipper, you don't need to sew right up to the very end. You can just finish it at the point here, as the zipper can be tucked into the bag. You can even use a longer zipper if it's what you have available. Pin the other side of the zipper in place and sew as you did with the back stitch. If the open end of the zipper fabric protrudes beyond the yarn of the bag, turn the zipper fabric back a little bit and secure it. With the right sides together, sew up the side. I'm using a darning needle and a thinner yarn. You won't see the sewing thread when complete. Sew down the other side of the bag. As mentioned, this is the second in my series of handmade bags. If you would like to see the future bags, please be sure to subscribe and you won't miss out. My name's Lindy and thank you for watching my channel. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear from you. Take care and bye.